In this video, I'll be explaining the story and ending of Sundered Doctrine, and the interesting questions it poses for the future. The first encounter is titled Solve the Riddle, and features the symbols from Vow of the Disciple. It tasks us with connecting the light between resonant lenses to unlock the vault door. To do so, we must discern the true symbols from false symbols. This sets the theme of the dungeon, determining what is false and what is true. The shape of this encounter is the light symbol from Vow of the Disciple, featuring a similar form and colored pattern. The next encounter, Zoetic lockset, has us work to open the lock to the door. We use the same symbols to manipulate its systems and fight against Hive and Dread enemies. These Hive are notably the normal Destiny 2 Hive. They aren't the Hidden Swarm, they aren't Lucent Hive, they're just normal looking Hive. So the question is, who is commanding these Hive? The word Zoetic means life or living, and the bosses of the encounter are living locks that we must destroy. They are inanimate objects brought to life, and they act like Hive Shrieker enemies. They cover their face, fire similar projectiles, and have a similar hitbox. We dive deeper into Rolk's pyramid and discover the corpses of massive worm gods. These likely a result of Rolk's experiments with the upended. We enter the boss room and find a large weaver, Kerrev the Erased, and he uses the power of a dead worm god. The mechanics around this fight are also really interesting, and they use knowledge of Destiny lore to find the answer. Kerrev will make two statements, and it's our job to discern which is true. For example, these may be Pyramid Give Darkness and Guardian Worship Witness. The latter is the lie, for Guardians do not worship the Witness. This brings the truth and lie theme to full fruition. Kerrev himself is also pretty interesting. He's a radical scion that is splintering from the doctrine of the Witness. He and the Dread no longer follow the Witness and the final shape. They have fractured that philosophy, taking on their own mysterious ideals and values. This is where some mystery does lie too. What exactly are the Dread up to, and who is their true leader, and what is their new philosophy? It seems here that the Dread want control over the upended, and it looks like we use some of the upended's power to burn off the Scion shield to then do damage to him. We can only really speculate around the purpose of this dungeon and what it really means, as the full story is not completed. There's still a post-dungeon quest, and it seems like there's some time gating to it. Throughout the dungeon, the pyramid itself is what confirms if you're doing the mechanics correctly or not. For example, in the first encounter, it's the pyramid that has the ability to accept the true symbol and deny the one that is false. It has the ability to discern truth. There is something going on inside the pyramid that gives it some form of life. This continues with the lore of Finality's Auger. Take a listen to this. Okay, this thing gives me the creeps. Gave it all the standard tests, some extra. I licked it, that's how I know it's bone. Sticks to the tongue, stone doesn't. Cut out my tongue after just to make sure, so don't worry. No contamination, and Calic made me new one, no problem. There's a lot of raw data that I want you to read over and maybe send up the ivory tower. It's not that I don't trust my gut, it's that I don't want to. So we're paracausal, right? Effect and cause all shaken up, no connection. Everything else is just connected forward and backward through time. Tug on the butterfly here and make a cyclone there. As far as I can tell, this thing made itself. Spontaneous causal generation. My best guess is that there's so much will hanging around that it crystallized. Pure I am and I gotta. Embodied stubbornness. This is a message from the hidden agent True 135, the Guardian Truce, to Chalco, a leader of the Hidden. He mentions that Finality's Augur is made of bone, and that it is causal and spontaneous. The weapon seemingly created itself based on its own volition. It willed itself into being, a spontaneous creation, and this is due to the effects of whatever's within the pyramid. There's an important distinction between causal, paracausal, and alcausal relationships. Causal is the relationship between cause and effect. One thing causes another to happen. Acausal means without cause, the Greek prefix a meaning without, so without cause. And paracausal is the ability to transcend cause and effect, to act outside those boundaries. These are the powers of light and darkness. Finality's Augur created itself. There was an effect, the creation, but no cause. It seemingly came into being. There's a lot to think about regarding this weapon, though that is a story for another time. The pyramid, or something within it, has pushed it to life. It's receptive to the truth, and the will and the volition, as Truth describes, pushed the bone of Finality's Augur to create itself and mold itself into a weapon. The locks of the vault were brought alive to become Zoetic. There's something going on here that is bringing these objects to life. But what? That's a question we'll have to start to unravel. This dungeon is the true sequel to Vow of the Disciple. It follows up on the prophecy wall seen in the raid years ago, using those symbols as statements yet again, and now as a mechanic. It also is a juxtaposition to the traversal of the ray. In Val, we ascend to fight Rolk above the Upended. In Sundered Doctrine, we delve deep into the catacombs of the pyramid to find the vile machinations of Kerrev. There's a lot of lore, secrets, and stories still to come regarding this dungeon, and I'll be making a large, more in-depth breakdown regarding its lore in the near future, so if that piques your interest, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.